Hey guys, so today I am dyeing my traps. So there's my bucket of Formula One trap dye, and I'll just show you the label here. Water cleanup, reusable, water soluble, so you mix it with water. 2 cans of water for 1 can of Formula One. And says you can do snares as well. I don't know how well you can see that right there. But I prefer to just do mine in baking soda. But this does save you from having to use gas or boil for logwood crystals or something like that. It's quick and easy. Takes about 24 hours. It'll dry. Well, today's heat and wind might dry a little quicker than that, but anyways, and I'll just show you. Here's my traps that I already did. 1.5 coil springs. These ones are starting to dry. Those ones there were just dipped, and these ones were just dipped not too long ago too. So it does do a good job, but my traps will need at least 2 or 3 coats just to make sure that it's really on there nice, and because you can still see a bit of silver in there. I mean, that's pretty good, but you can get them like pitch black and it looks good. So, and even last year I did these ones. I'm going to retouch them up so they'll only get 1 coat. And same with my number 2s and my other long springs. They got a coat of it last year, so they're just going to get touched up with 1 dip. And the 160s and the ones that are hanging, well, they'll get 3 coats. All those ones there. So we'll keep dipping and get them all done up, and then I'll show you what the end result is. And like I said, I'm gonna have to do 2 more coats, so I'll show you that as I do them. Okay, so I'm done dyeing my traps, and I'll just show you. This trap is a 280 Savageau. It's never been dyed before, and that was the first coat. And you can see how nice it actually looks. Even these ones, they aren't 100%, but they're still pretty darn good for their first coat of trap dye. Same with the 160s, you can still see a little bit of rust, but for the most part they're pretty good too. But I will give everything an extra coat. Well, 2 coats, except for the 120s and the long springs. They'll be okay. And that's what happens when you do cable. These are just quick attach. For traps, it's the same thing as what's hanging here and then up to here. It's what Trapping World was using at the end of the his nuisance beaver stuff on the farmlands. It's basically the same. Well, it is the same thing. So I had a dozen of them and I made them up. That's what those are. And there you go. The long springs, they only need 1 coat, but you can see that they look nice and black again. So we'll let that stuff dry up, and probably maybe after dinner I'll see about giving it another coat. Depends how dry these ones are by that time. And there's my container underneath the plywood. And the reason why I put the lid on it, 1 for evaporation, so that it doesn't get all hard and gunky on me, and 2, just to keep the dust and shit out of it. So I couldn't find the lid. I don't know what happened to it. It's around here someplace, but anyways, I used a beaver board. So, yep. That tomorrow I'll give it a little stir, and then I'll maybe add a little bit of water. Probably not a whole, don't need to, but we'll see what it looks like when I come tomorrow to do it. And that's it. I mean, that took maybe 20 minutes to do all those. My 330s aren't here because most of them are actually being used for nuisance stuff right now, which I am going to make a video of in the next couple days, this week for sure. So those 2 need fixed, and then I have 2 more in the shed, or 3 more in the shed that need fixing. They all need new triggers, so, which is okay. And then these are just traps that either need, that one needs a pan. That one could probably get done, but I don't really need it. So yeah, those are just antique traps that I like to have hanging in the tree, just for the heck of having traps hanging in the tree. Okay, so like I said, there's my traps all done up, and we shall head on and do something else. Have a good one, guys. Hey guys, so I'm just out at the shed, and there's my bucket of trap dye. I just put the last coat of dye on my traps, so you can see my number 1s and 1.5s are all nice and black. They're just drying off. 120s, 160s, 220s, and 280s. The rest of my 120s that only needed one little coat, well, you can see they look pretty good. Not a speck of steel on them. It's all nice and black. Same with even those are the cables that I did. Just my quick attach cables for some of my traps. And then my long springs, the same thing. Well, you can see how nicely coated they are. And that's using the Formula 1 trap dye. I'll just show you the can again. Formula 1 trap coat. And like I said before, it's water soluble, so you mix it with water. And the only thing I find with it though is if you use your traps in water, well, it tends to wash off a little bit, not horribly. That's why I had to retouch up those 120s, but otherwise it's not bad. It's pretty good, quick and easy, no gas, and no sticky finish. And I don't wax my traps anyways, but this says you don't need to wax. The reason I don't wax my traps is just because they're designed to be strong enough as it is. And while a lot of people say that it doesn't, that it helps with scent control, well, scented candles, people. That's all I have to say. In other words, the scent sticks into the wax. But I'm not really one to be concerned about scent control. I see guys get real touchy about scent control, but I come to learn that it's not always necessary. And apparently the mayfly hatch has started. Well, I should say the Hexagonia mayfly hatch. There's all over the place. A couple more up there. Another one there, another one there. They're all over the place anyways. So we'll let my traps dry. We'll let the mayflies, there's two more, another one there. We'll let the mayflies finish their hatching and laying and all that fun stuff. One of these days I'm going to get out on that lake and fly fish for walleye with the a mayfly pattern, but I have to learn how to tie a mayfly pattern first to match that. But yep, that's the plan. So yeah, traps are dyed. I'm starting to bring in a bit of gravel, as you can see from here, just because where I park my truck tends to get pretty muddy in the spring and fall and whenever it rains, and same with down in front of my truck. So starting to bring in a bit of gravel for that. Eventually I'll have all this filled in, kind of tapered off, a little bit more level, all that fun stuff, just so it's not so muddy when it does rain and all that crap. So went and got one load today, and that's what the start of it is. And it's just like I said, for where I park my truck. I'm not going to do the whole yard. Well, not going to do the whole yard this year. I might eventually do the whole yard, but we'll see. So okay, so that's what's what. That's trap dyeing using Formula 1 trap coat. And you just mix 2 cans of water with 1 can of trap coat in a big Tupperware container, dip and dry, and then repeat 3 times for a nice even coat. And like I said, you can see my traps are all nice and black, so nothing to it. I think that took me all of 5 minutes. I've been talking longer than it took me to dye my traps. So cool. Once they're all dry, I'll bring them inside so they don't get all rusty on me again. But other things I want to do this soon is start making muskrat floats. But I learned something from my muskrat floats last year, and when I do my muskrat floats, I'll show you what I learned. Don't know if Kurt picked up on it or not, but I certainly did after last season. Anyways, I'll let you guys go before I keep rambling. So have a good one.